Hello, what's up guys, I'm Kyle from KGR and welcome to Show and Tell. For the few that are new, Show and Tell's pickup series where I show off everything I picked up that I haven't done a video on prior. This can be from games, figures, or anything else that I just love. And the first thing I want to show off is also going to tie into the question of the day. How many of you have been playing Tears of the Kingdom? And how many of you also got the amiibo? So originally I was going to do a collector's edition unboxing. However, I didn't know half of the stuff in this thing anyway. Like, when I saw the steelbook, I forgot who the characters were. When I saw the pins, I had no idea what they meant. When I was going through the art book, I didn't want to spoil everybody either. So it's odd. Like, I recorded it, and after, like, thinking about it, I'm like, this is awful. Because I did another video where I was showing off a character roster of a Smash Brothers mod, and I didn't know half the characters, if not more. And unfortunately, that video got a lot of traction. And I'm afraid the same thing's gonna happen to this. So I'm not gonna post that video and make myself look like an idiot as everybody's first impression of me. So, it's in this video instead. And of course I had to get the amiibo because I have the whole Zelda collection anyway. And half of them's out in the living room, just waiting for me to use them to scan and hopefully get the costumes. I'm getting there. It's not going too well, but it's getting there. I've mostly been playing this by myself. And when I did stream it, it was on TikTok. But I'm debating on just streaming it on YouTube every once in a while, just so viewers can help me and help me discover the game even more. Because this is a game I want to just fully immerse myself in. But when people show me things that are like mind-blowing discoveries I didn't know because I'm stupid at gaming, it makes me love the game even more. So I kind of want to stream it every once in a while, but mostly just play it by myself. Well, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this game so far? Because it's great. It's nostalgic and refreshing at the same time. That's the best way I could describe it without spoiling anything. And since we showed off a game, I want to show off a few more games I picked up recently. And this one was actually a gift. This one was from my friend Bryce. So shout out to my buddy Bryce. I can't wait to see you at Too Many Games, by the way. Here, he bought me a copy of Portal 2 on PS3. Now, normally when I play Portal, I typically just play it on PC because that's the best way to play it. And I like the keyboard and mouse controls when it comes to first-person games. The very little that I play. And the PS3 version specifically is the one that I started with, which is unfortunate because I didn't play Orange Box. I didn't get to play Portal 1 on PS3 first. But this is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's kind of the same reason why I bought some other games, and I'll get into that in a minute. Now, the next two games I want to show off, Bryce did not buy me, so he's not completely my sugar daddy. But the next one I want to show off is Mario 64. This is honestly my favorite 3D Mario game of all time. It's not the first one I ever owned though. The first one I owned was Mario Sunshine. But this one was just always my favorite personally. And the next game I want to show off is Pokemon Stadium. Now guys, I have a confession. I don't have a Nintendo 64, but the last show and tell that I did, I showed off a copy of Super Mario World on Super Nintendo, and I no longer have a Super Nintendo either. So the reason I got these retro games I don't have systems for is the same reason why I got Portal 2. These games are some of my favorite games of all time, and I want to have a copy physically of it. Sure, I have Mario 64 DS, but I want the 64 cartridge, and I have Mario 3D All-Stars, but I want the cartridge. Because this is the version I played as a child. This is the one that I went to either my neighbor's house, my cousin's house, or whatever. This is the one I played. But when it comes to my story for Pokemon Stadium, I would play this with my cousin. We'd stay the night at my grandma's house, and we'd play this, Stadium 1 and 2. We'd play the mini games, we did the rental Pokemon, we never had a transfer pack. We compared Pokemon cards, watched the VHS tapes, because we're that old. And also played Mario Kart 64, but like, I don't think I need a cartridge for that one. But, speaking of, you can probably see up here that I have the NES controllers, the Super Nintendo controller, and the 64 controller for the Switch. I also got another controller, because when Pokemon Stadium got on the 64, I knew I was going to want to play this with my friends really, really bad, so I picked up another controller. And I was streaming this on my TikTok for a good bit, and I got a great amount of viewers during that, and all of us just felt nostalgic and happy about it. And when I was using the 64 controller, playing the emulated version of this, it made me feel like I was playing it as a kid all over again. And it was just magical. That's the best way I can describe that. So I'm very grateful to have 2 of these controllers now. But anyway, back to these games. Eventually, I want to do a video going over all my favorite games of all time. I don't know when I'm going to do that video, but that's in the process. There's already a few of them you already saw. But everything else, I do have physically. The next thing I got isn't exactly a game, but it's a thing for games. And I love it. It's this little Game Boy cartridge display stand. Hi, Chloe. When I'm home alone and I'm recording videos, this cat likes to seek out my attention. When you buy this, you get 2 of them. And even though it's technically made for Game Boy Advance, it fits all the Game Boy cartridges just fine. When it comes to the GBA games specifically, I typically held them in my DS cases because they had slots for those, and I still do that. But for any other game that I had, for like Game Boy Color, or anything like that, they would just sit there on my shelf and look like not organized, be always in the way, and just not nice looking. So I don't think I'm gonna grab the Game Boy Advance games out of my DS cases to fit them in this one. However, this is how it looks with the other Game Boy games that I have. And this thing is so nice, because if I ever do need to get to other games that like this is sitting in front of for some reason, I can just move it and all of them are there without making a giant mess, and it's still all organized, and I love it so much. So if this is something that you want to grab for yourself, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description. It's gonna be from Amazon, but it's not too expensive though. I think it's like probably 20 bucks, I don't remember. But yes, this is very nice and very useful. Alright Chloe, I think you had enough camera time. We're gonna move you. The amount of hair this cat leaves behind, oh my lord. The next thing I want to show off is something that you've probably seen in the background in a couple of my videos already. That is this first 4 figures PVC Mario Kart. This one's probably the most expensive statue I've gotten so far, but this one thankfully was a gift from my caring, loving, supportive, insert other adjectives, girlfriend. I think it was for Easter? Yeah, I think it was for an Easter gift. Because I had to do a video talking about this statue for my job. And the more I would look at it, I'm like, I want this myself. This thing's too cool. However, it looks like mine kinda has a lazy eye. It's mainly this eye right here. Like, when I look at it next to the prototype, and like, you can tell there's a difference. And when you look at it like head on, you can see there's a difference in like how exactly he's looking, but unfortunately the lighting kind of like overexposes it. But this statue is gorgeous. I love this thing so much. This one's not very important, but I want to talk about it anyway, and that is gonna be this 4-inch Jakks Pacific Sonic figure. It's not that big of a deal because you can get this thing at Target. Like, you can get this anywhere, honestly. Like, they're so readily available. But I want to talk about it because I just wanted to have a Sonic figure in this scale anyway. And it blows my mind because I primarily collected the Jazzwares line when that was readily available. But now that I just bought one of these out of the blue, it blows my mind how well, not only does it capture the character, but like, also how well it just stands up by itself. Because the Jazzwares figures, especially like the 3-inch line or whatever it's called, they would never stand up by themselves. And a good chunk of it is because of the fact they didn't have like ball jointed ankles to actually help them stand up properly. And it has me thinking, I almost wish I didn't have the Jazzwares line, because if I didn't, I would try to go for a full set of these. But the Jazzwares line means so much to me because I did all of my hunting at Toys R Us. That, and they have such a huge variety of characters that Jakks hasn't gotten to yet, but Jakks is getting very close. I feel like the only ones they're missing right now might just be the Babylon Rogues and the Riders version of Team Sonic. Everybody's done! Like, they got everybody there. So I'm mainly saying this as a kudos to Jakks Pacific for actually doing a fantastic job on their Sonic line. And I wish I had the full set, but I don't. But I do have a few of them. I have like Chaos, Omega. I have like a 2-inch Rouge or whatever that scale is, 2.5 inch. And then I bought all of their movie figures, and I got the collector's figures. Like, I do like Jakks Pacific, but now I'm like so upset that I never got into this line previously. But like, I don't even have room for them anyway. So like, what am I gonna do? And I don't want to put the Jazzwares figures away because I love those figures so much. But speaking of Jakks Pacific, these figures I actually just got yesterday, as of this recording. I got these yesterday. And these are 2.5 inch Running Mario and Baba. I got these on clearance for like less than $2 a piece. I saw the Babam in a second in Charles once, but it was like so expensive. It was like $15 or something like that. And I said no way, or at least $10. The point is, a lot more than I wanted to pay for this thing. And it scales really well with the Figuarts line. So, we're gonna open it. And, I don't know, put it on the shelf. So, here he is! This scales so well. I love this. This looks so great. I kinda wish I had a Peach. Kinda wish. Never mind. He couldn't stand up by himself for a little bit. You can't see it. But the Running Mario, I just thought he was cute. So, like, I just wanted to, like, have him somewhere. I'll know exactly where I'm gonna put this guy. Because my dresser is where I put most of these figures. And I already have a couple of these figures, so like I don't need any more. I'll put him somewhere though, because he sure is stinking cute. The next thing I want to show off are also things I've gotten to work, and that are these Hot Wheels. We got the one based off the Mario van in the Mario movie, and we also got the Reptar wagon from the first Rugrats movie. And I guess the seasons after that on Rugrats, originally I wanted 2 of each, but the Reptar wagon, I feel like I'm fine with having just on the card. But the Mario van, I did buy 2 of them. I have the other one just hanging out on my desk. And he is so cool looking. I love this thing. I like Hot Wheels. I don't typically collect a bunch of Hot Wheels, but the few that I do love, I do buy them. But something else I do want to show off is, speaking of earlier when I did a video of an unboxing that didn't go well. Same story with this guy, and that is the Revoltech Zerg. Now, when I was filming the unboxing of this thing, the arm just snapped off on me, and even then, there were still some other things that like weren't really polished with it. Like, there's a grip for his gun that has a hand already on it, but you gotta slide out the trigger in order for you to swap that with or without the hand. And the one with the hand on the trigger wasn't like molded right and wasn't sanded down properly, or I don't know what the story was behind it, but it literally would not fit in there. I had to modify it myself in order for it to actually fit in there. So once that was done, then I went to move his arm and it just snapped. If you follow me on social media like Instagram, Twitter, whatever, I posted that happened to me. Thankfully, the people who I bought it from, originally I was going to go to the manufacturer, but I had no way of contacting them. But the people who I bought it from, they're going to send me another one to do another video on. I'm absolutely terrified to do that video, but I'll do it though. Now I was really looking forward to this figure because I never had a real Zerg figure. I had one that had like bendy arms, of all things, and it didn't scale with any of the Toy Story figures I had. But this figure, when I was playing with it, when it was still all one piece, it was so cool. I loved this thing so much. So I want to shout out Nin Nin Game for helping me out with getting another replacement. Their customer service is fantastic. However, with them being based in Japan, like, it would take me, like, I would send them an email and they would send me like a whole nother day to get a response because of the giant time difference. That's not an issue with them, that's just a first world problem. But speaking of figures I haven't done unboxings of, and this one I'm probably not going to unbox, is the event exclusive SH Figuarts Madara Uchiha. Now, I already have a Madara Figuarts. There are improvements on this one, besides the chrome finish. Like, they have better face paints in comparison to the first one. But honestly, I don't really care about opening it because I already have one already up there. If I want to play with the Madara, I'll play with that one. This one's just gonna sit on my shelf. And honestly, I think it's gonna be one of those things where, like, if it ends up being sought after later, and I do have a tough time with paying bills or like there's something I need to get, then this might be a figure I might have to sell later, which I really don't want to because he is cool. But hey, we'll see what happens. So that covers most of the pickups. But there is a bonus that I do want to show off before we call it a night. It's daytime. Why did I say night? I don't know. So, since we're on the topic of the Mario movie, by the way, it's available on streaming. I'm not getting it on streaming because I'm just going to wait for the Blu-ray, which I'm buying 2 of. Because there's many different editions of it, and I want 2 of them. As most of you would know, I collect movie theater posters. It's kind of like a secret hobby, sort of. I do want to show off all the posters that I have in a video eventually, but I still need to frame up like 4 of them. And with these posters being so big, the frames for them can get a little expensive. When they're on sale and I have coupons, then I buy one. But unless I have a coupon, they're like 40 bucks a piece, and I am not paying, what, over $160 plus tax just to get even more of these. I gotta wait, and eventually I'll do that video. But I did get a couple of posters. We're gonna move this chair back a little bit so we can actually have a little bit of room, so one sec. The first one I want to show off is a gift from Sugar Daddy Bryce. This one is going to be the art that many of you are very familiar with. That is the cover art for the Blu-ray slash like I want to call it the main poster, where we get to see the whole cast and saying exclusively in cinemas soon. No real date on this, but you get to see like the changing colors of the sky and you can see the contrasting colors. It just looks really, really beautiful. And I wish the ring light or any of the ring lights ruined the shot for me. Point is, this is a beautiful poster. I love this one a lot. And now that I'm trying to show this off, I'm gonna have a hard time actually making a whole video on this. We're gonna figure that out. But the next one I want to show off is a gift from my friend John. Now, John works at a theater, so he's able to get me a decent amount of these newer posters. So this one is really cool. This one is the teaser. Now, this is the first poster that I actually saw in person that I really fell in love with. So we have Mario himself looking up at the Mushroom Kingdom, looking up at Peach's castle. And then we can also see like the antique shop right in here. And I'm trying to look for more Easter eggs in this, and I'm not really seeing many Easter eggs in this poster in particular. I have like 2 Detective Pikachu, 2 Sonic 2s, and now 2 Marios. That's not even scratching the surface of how many posters I have right now. I have so many posters that I want to show to you guys so bad, but right now I gotta frame the other ones first. And I gotta replace one of the other frames. And honestly, I would love to replace a good amount of these frames, because a lot of them aren't that very good. But this is the last thing I wanted to show you though. This thing is so awesome. Like, he didn't even tell me he was giving me this, he just told me he had a surprise for me. And I love this poster so much. Like, so thank you, John, so much. I doubt he's watching this, but God, this is so cool. So that's gonna be it for this video. So let me know in the comments, I guess, what was the coolest thing that I picked up? I don't know. Like, I showed off a lot more than I expected. And there's also a few other things I got subtly, like this new necklace or this new mic arm. I'm gonna miss the old one, honestly, but this one's like more versatile and like also not in the way whenever I want to showcase something. If you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's my social media. And thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much. And I also have some very important announcements happening very soon. Just gotta iron out some details, but very big things are happening very soon. But thank you for watching. I love you guys to death. I'll see you on the next one. So peace. Also, I got a new hat, because the old one is getting beat up. I got another hat. But anyway, bye!